Everybody, please take your seats. Thank you, thank you. All right, I'm okay to go, Jody? She's the boss, and when she tells me to do something, I make sure to do it. So, first I want to say, I guess really the very first thing I want to say is, please forgive me if I get a little emotional. I'm already Ryan, did you bring any of those drugs you seize? That might help me. Might help me a little bit. I know you carry a packet around with you. Yeah. All right. Thank you all for being here today. This is an incredible day in the history of the Golden Police Department. In its 150 plus years, we've never had a day like today where we are promoting a new police chief, a deputy chief, 2 commanders, and 2 sergeants. This is awesome. I am so incredibly proud to be a part of this organization and to be able to be here today with everyone to memorialize this occasion. It is pretty emotional for me. Is that for me or someone else? But I want you to know that I am so proud of this organization, the men and women who work in this organization and who do everything they can every single day to keep the members of our community, our visitors, and our businesses safe. This is a fantastic turnout. It's awesome to see people have come for this occasion, and I'm particularly impressed that two of our visitors here today came all the way from Seattle area to be here to celebrate this event. So, with that, I want to start with. This is going to be a little. I'm sorry that I'm stumbling. Usually it's just a big deal. So thank you for this, and thank you for being here, and I feel like I'm rambling. I have no jokes to tell today. What I'm going to do... Okay. No, I'm trying to keep it a little serious. But I promise you, somewhere in here there will be my traditional poem that I will read. So we're going to start with, you know what, first I'm going to tell you what these folks had to go through. This has been a pretty laborious process. The promotional processes were last week. We had numerous candidates. Some of the process they went through, including the assessment process, which some of our panelists are here today, particularly some folks from the newly established community engagement group. I want to thank those citizens for being here. But I also really want to thank all the people who have come today. There's family members. You will get introduced to them as we move along by the people that are getting promoted today. There are department members. There are city staff members. There are people who used to work with some or all of these guys. And I don't think you begin to imagine how important it is and what a great feeling it gives to my heart that all of you would take time out of your day to be here. So again, thank you for that. So we will start with Ryan Beale. They take an oath of office that will be administered by our city clerk.
Thank you. Raise your right hand, please, and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Ryan Beale.
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
the Charter and ordinances of the City of Golden,
the Charter and ordinances of the City of Golden,
and faithfully perform the duties of sergeant
and faithfully perform the duties of sergeant
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
That's it. Congratulations.
Yeah, either one. And I think the boys are pinning. Who's pinning?
My boys.
Fellas, come on up.
All right.
So before you say anything, I want to tell you a little bit about Sergeant Beale. He was born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, grew up in Asheville, North Carolina, whereupon he went to high school there for a bit and then moved here. Since he came here, has been a pretty amazing individual. He started his policing career at the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department. And I'm proud to say that we were able to encourage Ryan to leave the Sheriff's Department to come down here to work for the Golden Police Department. We've actually had some pretty darn good luck taking people from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department, which I'm pretty happy about. So he came here in 2007. Since coming to the Golden Police Department, he's been a corporal. He's now, of course, being promoted to sergeant, but he's served in investigations. He's been in the West Metro Drug Task Force, and he has, while in investigations, been involved in several high-profile homicide and sex assault investigations. He also was a member of the Jefferson County Combined Regional SWAT Team and served valiantly, served with distinction. How do you say that word? I still can't. Libby, we're going to have to practice that tonight. And was also served as a team leader in that capacity. He's an instructor in a multitude of modalities, including undercover surveillance, firearms, tactics, critical incident response. He's also served as a threat liaison officer for the kayak, which is part of the Department of Homeland Security. And he's been a task force officer as a special deputy with the United States Marshal Service. You saw his two sons there, which he's a proud dad. And he enjoys motorcycle riding, spearfishing, being around friends, and he wants to, he asked me to thank those of you over the years who have helped him get to where he has gotten to today. So, another round of applause.
So apparently we're supposed to say a few words, so I found out just about this, so I'm going to kind of off the cuff. I want to thank everybody who's supported me through the years. My boys, they're priority number one in my life. My family, my brother's here. He's a sergeant with Jeffco as well. Then I have my brothers and sisters in blue. There are some that have helped me more than you know. Guys from SWAT have showed up. Guys from the Drug Task Force have showed up. Everybody through the years, former guys that I've worked with. It's good to see all these faces. Thank you very much for coming out. I will do my best to make everybody who selected me proud, and then also do my best to serve the citizens of Golden. I've been here for a long time, and I really love this department and I love this city. So thank you very much.
Valiantly, right? Is that it? I have to tell you, yeah, these folks, at least I would say all but one of them is not really all that comfortable speaking in front of groups. You'll hear from one a little bit later who loves to talk. People say, I love to talk. Oh my gosh, he's got a PhD in that. And so I'll also tell you, we asked, to give a little biography, so I had something to say, and these guys were submitting documents that were like 2 sentences long and tell me they don't really do anything, and I go, well, I know that isn't particularly true, so it's like pulling teeth to get information out of them. Next is Sergeant Garcia.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Justin Garcia,
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
the Charter and ordinances of the City of Golden,
the Charter and ordinances of the City of Golden,
and faithfully perform the duties of sergeant
and faithfully perform the duties of sergeant
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations.
And it'll be Sarah.
Yes, sir.
Come on up, Sarah.
They're so together.
So a little bit about Justin, and Justin was one of those folks who had like 2 sentences that he wanted me to say about him, so he expanded on it a little bit for us. He was born and raised in Westminster, Colorado, went to Stanley Lake High School where he played tennis. He is married to Sarah Mills, who he met through her work here as she was a dispatcher at the Golden Police Department, and they married a few years ago. They seem to particularly enjoy travel, is what they tell me. A list of places. Oh, I should tell you too, by the way, they were married in a cabin that was built by Sarah's father. And it seems like that would be pretty awesome. Was it?
It was.
That's the right answer.
He's in the back right over there, too.
Yeah. They like, the places they've been to is Hawaii. This is just in the last few years. Hawaii, the Orca Islands, which I have no idea where those are, and I went to Google them, and then I got interrupted by Joe Harvey here. So where is that?
Pacific Northwest area.
Oh, so like off the coast of Oregon or Washington? Beautiful. Vancouver, Yellowstone, Roatan, Barbados, London, Kenya, and all that's been in the last couple of years. He likes to scuba dive, play pool, go hunting. He's been a cop with the Golden Police Department for about 8 years. He His passion is instructing, has been for quite a while. He is an instructor, has been an instructor and or is an instructor in driving, SFST. You want to tell them what that stands for?
Standard Field Sobriety Test.
It's probably because I couldn't have necessarily said what that stands for. We've come a long way in policing since I started all those years ago. What was that? Amazing. Thank you, John. Former police chief in Greenwood Village and now has the infamous job of being a city manager in Greenwood Village. So thanks for being here, John. Is always willing to speak what's on his mind. He's been a field training officer where he has excelled in doing that job. He's perceived by the people that trains him as incredibly intelligent, articulate, committed, and knowledgeable in every aspect of policing. He's going to be fantastic in this role. He also was the department's first drug recognition expert, and he is a level 3 accident investigator. And lastly, was our first drug recognition expert. So that's Justin Garcia. Congratulations.
Chief, thanks for all the kind words. I appreciate that. You made me rewrite them, but sorry.
Well, some of those kind words came from me, not because he wrote them.
I just want to thank everybody for the support and continued support, and I will do my best to do a good job, and thank you for this opportunity.
Any of your family?
My family's here. My wife, Sarah, obviously, my grandmother, my mother, and my in-laws are in the corner over there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mark Donahue.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Mark Donahue,
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
the Charter and ordinances of the City of Golden,
the Charter and ordinances of the City of Golden,
and faithfully perform the duties of Support Services Commander,
and faithfully perform the duties of Support Services Commander,
upon which I'm about to enter.
about which I'm about to enter.
That's it. Congratulations.
And pinning his badge will be his wife Libby and his daughters Laurel and Collins, which most folks don't know that Laurel was named after the street that you, go ahead,
That
tell
we
them.
had our first date on.
Yeah. And Collins is named after Fort Collins, presumably because that's where you guys met.
Yeah.
At school.
Thank you.
I have an affinity for the name Libby, as you know, because my wife's name is Libby, and it's pretty cool. Okay, so Mark, I can tell you're comfortable standing up here, right?
Yeah.
He's another one of those SWAT guys. He'd rather be out there doing some other things than standing up here, right? You know, it is kind of fun putting these fellows on the spot here for the last time I'm ever going to get to do it, so I don't feel one bit bad about it, Mark.
I wouldn't either.
So, Mark was born and raised in Lakewood, Colorado, and graduated from Green Mountain High School in 2001. You might guess he joined the Marine Corps in 2004 and was attached to the, and I wrote this down in quotes because I didn't want to get it wrong, because I know you Marines get pretty offended if we get something wrong about the Marines.
That's true.
1st Battalion, 3rd Marines, which were stationed in, they were headquartered out of Hawaii. In 2006, he was deployed to Afghanistan, and in 2007, deployed to Iraq. Thank you for your service. Mark left the Marine Corps as a staff sergeant, and whereupon he then went to CSU, where he met his wife Libby, and they graduated together in 2011. He studied communications there with a minor in history, and he is currently working on his master's degree in business administration. Mark was, Golden Police Department was his first police department. We sent him to the police academy, and he graduated at the top of his class there, receiving several awards for leadership. And he was voted by both his class and actually the academy staff as the outstanding recruit. That was pretty awesome to be there for that. So he started with us in 2012. He's held also a number of instructor positions: firearms, driving, active shooter, tactics instructor, and more recently as a de-escalation instructor. He's been an officer, team leader, sergeant, member of the distinguished member, I won't try to use that V word again, distinguished member of the SWAT team, serving as a team lead on the SWAT team. Came off the SWAT team about a year ago to focus more heavily on his professional career in terms of developing his knowledge base experience. He's currently a national instructor for the National Tactical Officers Association, travels around the country to do training. That is incredibly impressive. And I guess I want to say that Mark has just been an amazing member of the police department. You won't find a person who is more committed, dedicated, brave, willing to get out there and lead folks. He is the epitome of that person that doesn't believe in having folks do work that he wouldn't do also. His promotion to commander is, I think, an amazing testament to his talent, skill, knowledge, dedication, and I know that he has a high regard for service to the community. So congratulations.
So I just wanted to thank, like everybody else has said, thank everybody for coming out and supporting us today, and for everybody that supported me along the way, especially my family that's in attendance, my wife Libby, daughters Laurel and Collins, my sister Jen is here, and my parents, Mary and Tom, are here. So thank you all for everything, and thank you all for everything.
hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I state your name. No. I, Marcus Williams,
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
do solemnly swear I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
the Charter and ordinances of the City of Golden,
the Charter and ordinances of the City of Golden,
and faithfully perform the duties of Patrol Commander,
and faithfully perform the duties of Patrol Commander,
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
Okay, congratulations.
I have the distinct honor of pinning on Marcus's badge. I've usually made fun of people doing this who seem to struggle with it, so forgive me if I struggle with it. See? Thanks for letting me do this. It means a lot. I can't find the, there you go. Would help if I had my reading glasses on, you know. There you go. Before I say anything about Marcus, I have to give a recognition to Marcus's mother, Lillian. She's over there on WebEx. And okay, Dad, he reminded me to recognize that you're there too. And that's Marcus Williams Sr. Hard to believe somebody would be bigger than you are. He's that. But I got to tell you, and why I mentioned his mom is Marcus has worked here something like 22 years. And ever since the day he walked in the door of the Golden Police Department.
Don't tell them.
Oh, I'm not going to share any of that. I'm just going to say he is scared of his mom. You've raised a fine young man. Well, you're not as young as you once were there, Marcus, but he's an incredible man, and you should be very proud of the two of you for the job you've done in raising Marcus. Marcus is originally from New Jersey, where his family still lives, which is his parents, Lillian and Marcus, as well as his brother, Byron. And as I said, they're all on WebEx. I'm sorry that folks on WebEx couldn't be here. But you know, I guess if we have anything to thank COVID for, it's we now have the ability to do these kinds of things and let people be present in life-affirming events. You probably wouldn't know that Marcus graduated from a technical and vocational high school, where he graduated with an electrician's apprentice certificate. Are you still able to do that?
You probably don't want to ask me to.
All right. He was planning on being an electrician until he received a football scholarship after only playing 1 year of football in high school. He also received a basketball scholarship, but for some reason unknown to me, he decided to pursue the football process. He went to Morningside College in Iowa, where he got a bachelor's degree in psychology, and then he had several professional tryouts, but he's here as a police officer. Sorry that didn't work out for you, big guy.
I have bum leg.
Yeah, the old bum leg, right. He's a big teddy bear. He then started a career in juvenile corrections, where he worked with violent and sexual offenders, and he came to the Golden Police Department in 2000. He has been assigned several duties, including patrol, investigations as both a patrol officer and a sergeant, which till this moment has been his current assignment, special enforcement sergeant, and he's done a pretty amazing job in that. He will tell you that he enjoys mountain biking, movies, lifting weights, and describes himself as an extreme foodie. I can attest to that because he has shared with me pictures of food he takes while he's either starting to eat it or in the process of eating it. I don't really get why people take pictures of their food, but Libby does that too. He has future goals of obtaining his master's degree and becoming fluent in Spanish. Marcus has been an amazing asset to the organization, and I will tell you that for me, he is the epitome of never give up. And I'm proud of you for that, Marcus. You have grown and matured and become incredibly sophisticated over the 22 years you've worked here. So thank you for everything you've done, and congratulations.
I just want to say, hopefully everyone can hear me. When I started in this career, I really didn't know what my career path was going to be. It was kind of, just going to come into work hard, and see where things land me. Throughout this process, I started to reflect back on a number of people that I've interacted with throughout the years. I've worked with a lot of great people as well as a lot of great supervisors. Even Sergeant Miller, who just walked in and reminded me of some of the good things and dumb things I did throughout the years. But she was inspirational in a lot of that piece. Being a part of some great units, watching people grow around me as well. Investigations back here, as well as special enforcement and traffic. It's been a lot of great relationships built with all of those people, as well as supervisors I've interacted with over the years. I want to also thank, this is actually the first event my parents are ever observed or been a part of. So them being a part of that is important. As well as a lot of people don't realize it's one of my coaches for this process and developing this process. She's sitting over there, Ms. Palmer. So with that, I'd like to say thank you for everyone's support. I appreciate everyone's help, and hopefully from this point forward, I continue to show you I'm a hard worker, and looking for others, hopefully at some point, to be up here and me cheering you on. So thank you.
State your name. I state your name, sorry.
I, Mike Hendershot,
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
do solemnly swear I'll support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
the Charter and ordinances of the City of
the
Golden,
Charter and ordinances of the City of Golden,
and faithfully perform the duties of Deputy Chief of Police
and faithfully perform the duties of Deputy Chief of Police
upon which I am about to enter.
on which I'm about to enter.
Hey,
Thank you.
congratulations.
Deputy Chief's wife, Edna Hendershot. Did I give you yours? So, Mike Hendershot. I've been bouncing all over the place because I got these bios that I look at, and I try to decide how many of them I'm going to kind of go on the script and then how many of them I'm going to go off the script. And so I may go off a little bit. I'm not sure. Yeah.
He's known me a lot of years, so.
Yeah. Mike started his policing career with the Golden Police Department in February of 1990, 3 months after his 21st birthday. He has been in policing now for over 31 years. For those who don't know, that's what these things kind of signify, 5 years apiece. He has a master's degree in criminal justice. He claims he does. He got it on an online university, so I'm not really sure whether it's... When I've Googled... He's proud of that. When I've Googled Boston University, it comes up as doesn't exist, and it's X'd out. But... he served with us for 11 years, the first time around, as making it to the rank of sergeant. I think because of poor supervision on my part, I was brand new as a lieutenant when I got to be his supervisor. He began his wandering around jobs and police departments. He served, he left us to go to Westminster Police Department, where well, there was one. One shout out. Woohoo for Westy. Where he met his wife, Edna, where he got promoted to sergeant quicker than anybody in the history of the Westminster Police Department, including his wife, and he certainly is proud of that. He's very happy to be promoted to deputy chief today because his wife is deputy chief in Westminster, and there's been a requirement. Woo! And there's woo! And there's been a requirement in his house every time he comes home and she's there, or every time she comes home and he's there, he's had to salute her. So, and say, "Yes, Deputy Chief, what can I do for you?" He says he no longer has to do that. So he thinks. He, after he was in our Westie for a while, about 8 years or so, he decided he wanted to become a pilot. And so he left the Westminster Police Department to go to flight school. And he had really impeccable timing. He started this sojourn adventure at the beginning of 2008, and as those of you who are old enough to remember, 2008, 2009 was the last major downtrend in the market, both stocks and housing, and that opportunity dissipated, and he went in search of another police job.
She told me I had to go back to work.
He ended up in Wheat Ridge, and woohoo! That's the enthusiasm of Wheat Ridge Police Department back there. So, not surprisingly, he left the Wheat Ridge Police Department sorry, Dan Brennan and Chris Murtha, but it's fun picking at you all. And he decided to come back to home, Golden, where he realized he had made a terrible mistake in leaving the tutelage of one Bill Kilpatrick. So he came back, and he came back as a commander. And as the journey throughout the metro area has transpired, not his journey, but the journey of the title of commander. You know, they didn't used to exist, commanders. When we did have a commander here, nobody knew what it was, and now everybody in the metro area seems to have commanders. He's been an amazing stabilizing force since coming back about 4 years ago. So I appreciate that. What I will tell you is I think he's highly respected by the troops. He has this amazing reputation for his leadership, for his willingness to engage, and he has been a very positive influence for me because he's a very rational thinker, let's put it that way. He has a good head on his shoulders, and he is filled with common sense. So I think he's going to do fantastic as the Deputy Police Chief, and I wish you all the luck in the world. Congrats.
So thank you, Chief. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody coming out. We haven't had a crowd like this for as long as I can remember here. We used to at Westminster, much larger organization. But as the Chief mentioned, I started here when I was 21 years old, and that's a very, very long time ago. And if anybody's a mathematician in the room and could track my career, I was away from the city for 17 years, and I'll tell you why I came back to the city of Golden. This is an amazing city, absolutely a great community, but it's all of you as the reason why I came back. Absolutely a family atmosphere. There's no place like it. I keep telling all my young officers, the grass is not greener in Wheat Ridge or Westminster or anywhere else. And to stay here because we have something special here. And I promise that as Deputy Chief, it's my honor to continue that. Thank you. And let me introduce the most inspirational leader I've ever known in my life. That's my mother. Raise your hand, Mama. So my mom taught me how to be a very good person first and a great leader after that. So that's important. So thank you, Mom.
So I think I have a special announcement to make. As some of you may know, one of my sports heroes is Tom Brady. He announced his retirement about the same time as I did.
Surprise, surprise.
Sorry, Joe, I'm coming out of retirement. Come on up.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Joe Harvey,
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
the Charter and ordinances of the City of Golden,
the Charter and ordinances of the City of Golden,
and faithfully perform the duties of Chief of Police
and faithfully perform the duties of Chief of Police,
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Yay. Congratulations.
I think I'm supposed to give it to you, right?
Yes, thank you.
Joe will introduce all these folks in a minute.
Get it through the hole, dude.
Oh, man.
Ow! Oh, knock it off, dude. A little bit too far there. I got it. Stephanie Harvey, please finish the process.
Hold on.
Good man. Congratulations.
So, Joe Harvey, or as he likes to be known, Simple Joe. At least that's what he says to me. I don't buy it for a minute. But Joe has a pretty distinguished career. As you can see, he's been around quite a while, 34 years. He started with the Douglas County Sheriff's Department as an explorer. He became a dispatcher there for a number of years and then became a deputy sheriff. He moved on from the Douglas County Sheriff's Department and then spent 21 years at the Greenwood Village Police Department. And most times says really enjoyed working for John Jackson for the time John came from the state of Kansas through southern Colorado up to Greenwood Village. Joe, I knew of Joe Harvey. I didn't really know Joe Harvey. In fact, I learned some time after he started here that we had been at a party together at mutual friends of ours that he knew, I knew. And I remember when he told me that, thinking about, wow, it must have been, you were a pretty unremarkable person because I didn't remember ever meeting you at that party.
Simple, remember, simple.
Mm-hmm. But boy, was I wrong. He's an amazing individual. I was at a Chiefs conference up in the mountains, give or take 8 years ago, and he was there, and we were looking for a command level officer. And so I had a conversation with him at a dinner after classes were over, and I got to know him a little bit, chatted with him, and told him we had this opening and perhaps he should consider applying for the position. I left that meeting and spoke to our our other command officer that was here at the time. We had 2 command officers, and he asked me. I told him I had spoken to Joe Harvey, and he asked me how that meeting went, and I said, I don't think it went very well, and I don't really expect to hear from him again. But with that, I called Chief Jackson to ask him if he minded if I attempted to recruit Joe Harvey to the Golden Police Department. And John very graciously agreed to that. In fact, said he had already told Joe he should apply for that job. Joe applied for the job. We did a process, and the process was, he was the overwhelming choice of all the panels. He had the distinction of being the first person in our history of scoring on the assessment center 3 superiors. May not mean anything to a lot of you, but those of you who go through these processes know that it's hard to get 1, let alone 2 or 3. So Joe came to work for the Golden Police Department. And again, I really didn't know him that well, but it didn't take very long for him to distinguish himself as a leader, as a thought leader, as a technical leader. Joe has worked pretty much every assignment there is in policing, whether it be line level, whether it be first level supervision, whether it be mid-level supervision, and captain, and then deputy chief, and now police chief. I will tell you that the police department, I believe, over the years has been pretty successful, has come a long way from the days when I first started here, and in more recent years, in the 7 years that Joe has been here, we've made some pretty tremendous leaps and bounds. And I have an affinity in my heart for Joe that I've never had before, and I admire and respect him tremendously. His work ethic is beyond reproach. His willingness to talk to anybody about anything is a rare quality today, and a particularly rare quality is Joe is not willing to tell people the hard truths. He doesn't shy away from anything. He'll mentor anybody who asks for it, and he is highly committed and dedicated to making this police department as good as it can be. Joe is, it's hard for me to talk about Joe because I just think so much, think the world of him. But what's easy to talk about is whatever successes we've had, especially in the last bunch of years that he's been here, much of it belongs on his shoulders. I may be more of idea type stuff, and he can put it into practice. So thank you for that, Joe. His family is incredibly important to him, as it is to everybody. His 2 twin boys there that you'll get to meet in a minute. And you should hear, guys, how he talks about you at work, how much he loves you, and how important you are to him. I've also had the opportunity to hear him and Stephanie talk on numbers of occasions, sometimes with great love, fill in the rest of it. But she's been an incredible supporter of his, and they work in tandem to create an outstanding family situation. So I could go into all the other things, but I won't. Just for now, I'll let you, Joe, say what you'd like to say and introduce your friends and family that are here today.
So I have a lot of family here today. My mentor, Bob Krause, who pinned my badge. I'll get back to him here in just a minute. My 2 boys, Alex and Jacob. My wife, Stephanie. My mom and dad, Jim and Linda. My nephew, MJ. My abuelita, Bertha. My brother-in-law, Michael. My Aunt Irene. My mother-in-law, my father-in-law. Jackie and Zach, who flew out from Bellevue, Washington. Had love. Mickey Horton. Elfie, my good friend, Russ Lingle, we started our careers together as very young officers. We went to the FBI Academy together, drove all the way out here. I appreciate it. And then I have 4 more brothers that are watching online. My brother Vince, my twin brother Dan, my brother Troy, my brother Jimmy, Kathy Politano, who's like family to us. My sister-in-law, Tanan, Nancy Kirby, Cassie, a bunch of my neighbors, lots of people. But to be honest with you, you can, first of all, I'm honored. I'm very grateful for this opportunity. This is a dream come true. I had a rough life growing up. And it was people like Jim and Linda, Bob Kraus, who saved my life, of which I can never repay them. Bob has been my mentor for 40 years. He taught me much of what I know about leadership. I remember us going on runs when I was 16, 17, 14. And he would ask me leadership questions, but he'd never give me answers. He'd always say, yeah, you could do that, but did you think about this? Or did you think about that? When I was struggling with the leadership question, much through the early years of my career, I would always call Bob. And he always knew when to shut me down. Like, for example, when I called him on the golf course and I said, Savage, I got this difficult problem. He said, buddy, I'm getting ready to tee off. You'll do fine. Click. To my mom and dad, I love you guys. They took me in when I was 14. I made the decision to come to Golden after my dad gave me some sage advice. And I called Bill from the living room, and we sealed the deal. Brought me through some rough times. John Jackson. Probably the first chief that I worked with, and I've worked through with a number of them, that we had a symbiotic relationship. And we would spend 2 hours a day in his office conspiring about leadership and taught me how to negotiate. He's the one that taught me to say, I hope you brought your number 2 pencil and it's sharp because we're no longer friends. But he believed in me. Gave me a chance to move to support services and implement an RMS program in Brazos and new CAD, remodeled the dispatch center, things I'd never done before, pushed me and challenged me. But we spent a lot of time talking about not only leadership, but politics, things we agreed or disagreed with. Told me he couldn't understand why I drank hot, dirty water called coffee. You've been a good friend to me. I appreciate your advice. Your support over the years. It means a lot to me. I see Garv sitting in here. Most people don't know. I didn't know Garv, but I was looking for chief's jobs when I agreed to come to the city of Golden. And I was thinking about an agency in which Garv was the chief at, and somebody said, you need to call Garv. He'll talk to you. And I called Garv, and he gave me about 2 hours of his time on the telephone, talking to me about the pros and cons of being too young before you become a chief. And it probably saved my career because I backed off and I waited a few more years before I actually jumped into the foray. Little did I know I would be replacing him at Golden. But I look out and I see all of you, and it's the fiber, the backbone of a community. We are only successful because of the individual efforts that come together as an incredible team to make this community safe. It is that same structure that will help us as we move forward into the future. There will be change, there always is. We see the evidence of that sitting in front of us. Congratulations again to all of you for doing what you've done. I know we won't be perfect, but I see every one of you out there who I know give 100% every single day. I am honored to be your next chief of police. I want to extend a huge thank you to Jason Slewinski. When he came to the city of Golden, just a few months after me, didn't know me from Adam. But he believed in me enough to offer me this job without having to go through a testing process to appoint me. Difficult thing to do, to have that level of faith when other people can question or doubt. I'll never be able to thank you for that. I appreciate it very much. And then, Bill. Bill and I have spent hours getting to know each other over the years on a daily basis, talking about all kinds of things. We have become very close friends. Sometimes like husband and wife, because we argue and we fight. I've said mean things. He's accepted them. He's forgiven me. Today was not the day he chose to retire, to step aside, but he did it for the betterment of this organization, and he did it to give me an opportunity. And I think he deserves a round of applause for that. The chief is correct. I've never seen a stage I didn't like, so I could probably talk a lot longer, but I just want to finish with one thing. I don't have many talents in life, but I do have two. One is that I've learned over the years how to be an accomplished public speaker. But number two is my work ethic. And I promise each and every one of you, as our men and women run out to go protect somebody's lives, I promise every one of you that I will work my butt off for you every single day. Thank you for this opportunity.
Congratulations, sir. Congratulations, it's an honor.
Jason?
Oh, I need one more thing. I'm sorry, I forgot to say one more thing. To my wife.
Uh-oh.
You are my rock. I love you.
Just a few words from our city manager.
I will be quick because Judge Judy starts pretty soon, and I want to make sure I can see the full episode. Chief, thank you for allowing me to say a few words. I recognize the historic nature of today for the Golden Police Department. And on behalf of our organization, the City of Golden, and our mayor and city council, I just want to extend my congratulations to all of you and the Golden Police Department on this transition. I think it's a fantastic opportunity for all of you to step up and serve, and I know our city will be in good hands going forward. I'd be remiss, though, if I didn't at least recognize our outgoing police chief, Bill Kilpatrick. He's one of the first people I met here in Golden 7 years ago, and he has served valiantly.
See, it's easy.
You've had an incredible tenure as police chief here in Golden. Number of years you've served, the dedication you've had to the city, the community, the department has been really, truly incredible. And I have appreciated your leadership. I couldn't think of a better person to lead the police department and to partner with as Golden's police chief. You're loyal, you're dedicated, you are committed, you're an advocate for the department and for the city. And I want to extend my personal congratulations to you on your retirement and all you've done for our community.
Thank you.
To our sergeants, our new sergeants. Ryan, by the way, it's pretty cool. You are from Wisconsin originally. The best city employees were all born in Wisconsin. I'm just letting you know. Isn't that right, Sergeant Miller? Congratulations to both of you. I think you'll do a fantastic job. And I look forward to seeing your continued growth in the department. To our new commanders, Marcus and Mark, I've gotten to know you a little bit better over the last couple of years, and I have all the faith in both of you that you're going to do great work for the city of Golden going forward. You represent the next leadership for the city and the department, that next generation of leadership, and I look forward to seeing you continue to succeed as well. Deputy Chief Hendershot, I haven't got to work with you quite as long, but I have really enjoyed the time that I have gotten to know you and associated with your work as well, and have a lot of confidence in you. And Chief Harvey, like Chief Kilpatrick, I think the world of you. I would not have made the appointment for police chief had I not had all the confidence in the world that you are the right person to lead this department going forward. And so many of you might know I have about, give or take, 50 hours left of being city manager of the city of Golden before I make my own transition. But I couldn't think of a better way to end my time here and have a last official act as appointing Joe Harvey as police chief. He is a dedicated person, and I'm very proud of you. I know this has been a lifelong dream for you. I'm happy to be able to see that fulfilled. You're going to be great, and I'm confident you'll deliver the right kind of leadership for the city of Golden. Congratulations also to you, Stephanie, and to the boys. And despite whatever he says, you don't have to call him chief at home. Okay? And lastly, I'll just say this. To the men and women of the Golden Police Department, you have my utmost respect and admiration for all that you do for our community. You know, I know your job is not easy, especially in recent times. As the city manager, I have slept well every night knowing that the people we have in this department represent all the values we talk about in the city of Golden. And it allows me to sleep easy because I know the people that we have out there working, protecting our community, keeping it safe, are the right people for the job. And I respect all of you tremendously. You do the job the right way, with the right spirit, with empathy and professionalism. It means the world as city manager. As a resident of this community, I wouldn't want anybody else protecting and serving our community than all of you. So keep up the good work. You make all of us proud. And congratulations to all of you and the Golden Police Department.
So I know all of you want to congratulate the folks that got promoted today, so I will give you the chance to do that in a minute or two. There's two last things I want to say for today. One is that, in echoing what Jason has said, the men and women, both sworn and professional staff of the Golden Police Department, are beyond compare. The work you do on behalf of our citizens, regardless of what the job you do is always done with just the highest regard for doing the right thing for the right reason. And I've never doubted that with any of you. So thank you for what you do, and continue to do what you do. And I guess I'd also like to say that for years there'd been discussion in the police department, for years, literally decades, about succession planning, and that we weren't promoting our own. Well, here's the evidence that we have incredibly talented people that are our own, that we've been able to promote, and I'm proud to be able to do that. So thank you. Lastly, a poem by Ralph Waldo Emerson, and it's entitled, "What is Success?" We're sensitive guys. To laugh often and much, to win the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children, to earn the appreciation of honest critics and endure the betrayal of false friends, to appreciate beauty, to find the best in others, to leave the world a bit better, whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, or a redeemed social condition. To know even one life has breathed easier because you have lived, this is to have succeeded. You all do that every day. Thank you. All right, that's it. We have refreshments in the back, and I'm sure you want to come up and chat with folks, so enjoy.
You gotta go back to speak.